I'm doing a sequel about underrated movies. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy, please. I'm doing a sequel for one that's misunderstood, 'cause everybody says that the sequel's never quite as good, and we're talking about Muppets Most Wanted today. I had the reason to make this video because I recently rewatched Muppets Most Wanted because I was kind of going through a lot of the Muppet movies that I hadn't seen and thought that, I'd rewatch Muppets Most Wanted because I remember that was really good. For the longest time, I've known that people don't really necessarily think it's a great Muppets movie. I don't think people think it's very bad, but I don't think people think it's very good either. And by watching it, yeah, some of the editing is fine, I guess, and some of the comedy just doesn't hit the landing, but I think it's pretty underrated in my personal opinion, and I want to talk about why. I think starting off, compared to the first Muppets movie, which was a semi-musical, this one's a full musical, which can basically lure a lot of people off, like it did with Wonka and Mean Girls this year. And I mean, I am a musical person, so maybe I do have a bias, but I think these songs are actually really well made and actually are really catchy. I don't feel like I have to talk about too much about the music because I actually want to move on to the actual movie itself. Now, it seriously is a direct sequel to the Muppets movie. And no, not the Muppets movie, the Muppets movie. It takes place immediately after that one ends. And it's about the gang going on a world tour to do their comedy show. But surprise, surprise, something goes wrong on this trip when the evil froggen Constantine takes place of Kermit. And not only that, frames Kermit for all of his crimes and sends him to Russia, where he is put in jail. Now, just to stop right there, the plot is a little bit absurd in its own way, but also all of the Muppets movies are kind of absurd in plot sometimes. Like, it's just kind of wacky. And I think that's why it actually fits this style. It kind of is the Cars 2 of the Muppets, because it's like a really big difference from every single last other one. But at the same time, just like how I really love Cars 2, which you can actually go watch the video which I made of a couple months ago, I still really love Muppets Most Wanted. I actually think that it's better than the Muppets movie. And on that note, I actually think that it is the best Muppets movie that there is. I mean, I don't really have a bias against either of these. Like, The Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted are two movies that I saw in theaters and was looking forward to both of them. And they're both really good movies. I just think that Muppets Most Wanted is just a bit better. Not saying that The Muppets is a bad movie, it's still a really good one, but Muppets Most Wanted is just a lot more enjoyable in its own way. For one reason why I think it's actually better than The Muppets is because it's a lot more focused on Kermit. And yeah, it still has Walter in there, and he's a really cool character, honestly. But we actually get to see the show happen, and we also get to have a different story that we haven't seen before. Kermit is very much in the spotlight, and I think Constantine is a really funny villain too. I think he works perfectly with all of this, and that's why I think that it's wacky enough to be a Muppets movie and still keep its charm like that. I mean, expected with Muppets movies, I think that not all of them are going to work for everybody. There's a certain type of comedy that just maybe not hits the mark for everybody. But at the same time, for people that do like The Muppets and The Muppets movie, I think that it is strange that not more people like this one. It's got everything from the Muppets, and it kind of doubles on that. It gives you more of everyone that you care about, and from all those years ago, it kind of brings a lot of that nostalgia back. I don't understand why people diss on it as much as they do. I personally think that Muppets Most Wanted deserves more appreciation. If you haven't seen it in a while, I actually really recommend that you do. It's a very good movie and might be better than you expected. If you loved The Muppets or thought The Muppets was a good movie or any of the Muppets movies, I'm sure that there's some value in Muppets Most Wanted for you. And I hope that maybe I convinced you to maybe check it out again like I did in my Cars 2 one, which you can still go watch if you want to. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm Enchanted.